Coming up on 5 Minute News. US senators to propose legislation on balloon tracking. Texas judge to consider banning abortion pill in US. And rule to tackle interstate smog finalized. It's Thursday, March 16. I'm Santa Templeton. Two senators are introducing legislation to mandate tracking systems on high-altitude weather and research balloons to help the US military differentiate between potential threats. Senators Mark Kelly, a Democrat, and Republican Ted Budd will introduce legislation seeking to ensure balloons operating in US airspace can be identified. The issue drew new attention after US fighter jets shot down a Chinese balloon and 3 other objects last month. The legislation involves equipping high-altitude balloons operating at 10,000 feet above sea level or higher with tracking systems to transmit altitude, identity and location. Kelly previously served as a US Navy pilot and NASA astronaut, while Budd is a pilot. They are adamant in future officials should not have to wonder whether an object in our airspace is a threat, weather balloon or science project. The United States says the Chinese balloon shot down last month was used for surveillance purposes. China said it was a civilian airship used for weather purposes and that it was accidentally blown off course into US airspace. President Joe Biden has tasked National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan to preside over a task force of various agencies, including the FAA, to propose guidelines on how to address unidentified objects going forward. A federal judge in Texas is hearing arguments in a high-stakes court case that could threaten access to abortion medication. Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk is weighing a lawsuit from Christian conservatives aimed at overturning the Food and Drug Administration's more than 2-decade-old approval of the abortion pill mifepristone. The drug, when used with a second pill, has become the most common method of abortion in the US. There's no precedent for a lone judge overruling the scientific decisions of the FDA, and legal experts have warned of far-reaching consequences if judges begin second-guessing those decisions on drug safety and effectiveness. The hearing comes after last year's reversal of Roe v. Wade. If Kacsmaryk rules against the FDA, federal attorneys are expected to swiftly appeal the decision and seek an emergency stay to stop it from taking effect while the case proceeds. Mifepristone has been part of the standard 2-dose medication abortion in the US since 2000. If sidelined, clinics and doctors that prescribe the combination say they plan to switch to using only the second drug, misoprostol, which is slightly less effective at ending pregnancies, though widely used in countries where mifepristone is illegal or unavailable. The US Environmental Protection Agency has finalized a rule to require industrial facilities and power plants in 23 states to cut their smog-forming nitrogen oxide emissions, one of several air quality and climate regulations it's due to unveil. The EPA's final Good Neighbour plan is expected to ensure 23 states curb the emissions from facilities that pollute across state lines and meet obligations for the 2015 Ozone National Ambient Air Quality Standards. Ground-level ozone, or smog, can cause respiratory and heart issues and can travel downwind across state lines, affecting more than 127 million people. States ranging from New York to Texas to Nevada would be subject to the rule. The Good Neighbour plan will lock in significant pollution reductions to ensure cleaner air and deliver public health protections for those who've suffered far too long from air quality-related impacts and illnesses, said EPA Administrator Michael Regan. The rule is one of several measures aimed at cleaning up power and industrial sector emissions that the agency is expected to roll out this spring. Other rules, including new greenhouse gas standards for power plants, are expected as soon as April. Starting in 2023, affected power plants will participate in a revised ozone season trading programme. The EPA would tighten emissions limits over time to encourage a phased installation of pollution controls from 2024. EPA estimates the final rule will reduce emissions by 70,000 tonnes during the 2026 ozone season, compared to a business-as-usual scenario. It would also result in an annual reduction in carbon dioxide emissions by 16 million tonnes.
You can subscribe to the 5-Minute News Patreon for bonus videos, commentary and more. Go to patreon.com/5-Minute News.